As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner, YouGov, offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. Guys, we're going to do a story quickly here on a blockchain gaming story. And I'm putting this in here just as a sort of blatant way to push our new show, the Meta Business Podcast, which discusses only this stuff. So the intersection of the metaverse and gaming and metaverse themes and business and all those things around it. But I thought this story was interesting enough that we should discuss it here. But definitely go check out the Meta Business Podcast when it drops tomorrow, and subscribe for that on a weekly basis. So this story was blockchain gaming guild Avocado raises $18 million from Solana Ventures and others. Okay. And so Avocado raised $18 million from Animoca Brands, Solana Ventures, 3 Hours Capital, and others. The 6-month-old company is now valued at $200 million. According to this article, supposedly they're on track to an $80 million revenue run rate by the end of the year, according to their investor deck. And the round was heavily oversubscribed. They were only looking to raise 5 to 8 million, and they raised 18. What they do, and let me sort of describe this the way I see it, not so much in the words here, but basically if you want to play certain blockchain-based games like Axie Infinity, players need to buy in, right? You need to buy Axies in this case, which can be expensive. Like they start at $100. And so new players have to spend hundreds of dollars to play these games. What Avocado does is they lend these assets to the players, and then players play the games, these play to earn games, and then give back some of their winnings essentially to Avocado, to the lender. And when I read this story, for those of you guys who have watched Ready Player One, does this not sound like what's the evil corporation there in Ready Player One? What's it called? Do you guys remember?
No.
Where basically what they would do in the movie is this corporation lends to people and then forces them to pay off these loans by participating in their metaverse and their oasis and earning their money back in the game.
Yeah, it's innovative online industries. I just looked it up. By the way, the book is much better if you have the time. But keep going.
I'm curious what you guys think. Right, there's all this conversation around loot boxes being, not good for gaming, and we want to regulate them and the whole bit. But how do you guys feel about lending to gamers who then have to play to earn games to pay back the loans, essentially?
Super clever. I'm not a fan of playing a game for money, but a lot of people are.
I almost wish that they would stop calling this gaming if this is how the user experience. That's not gaming. It's a digital job, and what you're creating is digital indentured servitude, literally. It's inflammatory to say, but that's basically what that is. Basically what it is, and from a bigger picture perspective, I think it's a real impediment to adoption of blockchain gaming if you have to spend $300 to get into a game. Like, one of the most powerful things in gaming right now is clearly free to play. Like, that has been a massive business model, success story, because it removed all friction and brought people into the game seamlessly. And that's why you have 100 million players on console and, a billion mobile, 3 billion mobile gamers, whatever the number is because the games are free to play. By making someone pay $300 to get into your game, like, that is a huge impediment to the adoption of these blockchain games.
Yeah, but that's part of the play to earn model, right, Jeff? That's how money gets into the system.
Yes, right? And that's a huge problem, though, right? Because when you've created this system and this economy, the only way that play to earn can work is if more people keep coming in to buy those axes or those tokens, right? If people
are you calling this a Ponzi scheme?
I'm saying it feels, unless the industry finds a way to have people who come to the game just for the enjoyment of being in the game and are not trying to make money, it's going to eventually blow up. Because like any other pyramid scheme, you have to have new people coming in and buying these tokens and putting money into the system in order for people to be pulling money out of the system.
Not so taking away
the social thing where I just hate the fact that that's great.
Multi-level blockchain gaming.
These basically indentured servitude relationships. Although, I will acknowledge that in the case of Axie, like some of these people have actually been making more money than they would, as a physical laborer or in a minimum wage job. But it's just, I think it does the games business a disservice to have these experiences called games. Because if someone is fundamentally taking out a loan and then going into a digital experience and working, putting in their hours, and then giving that money to someone else, that is not a game. That is a job. Like that is the
Jeff,
definition.
You are not
of
invited to my downline.
So,
depends.
It just, I don't know. This is something that it worries me a little bit. And I think as we're digging more into this metaverse theme, and this article has got me fired up, it's something that we're going to talk a ton about on our show, Meta Business. It's something the industry needs to figure out, because I really think that it does a disservice to call these games if that is the user experience.
I don't disagree, Jeff. And hold on, it's going to get worse, because I'm going to read another part of this article, but I'm going to read these comments first. Chris says, Dollar Loan Center, the video game. That's basically what it is. Goyo says, on the topic of loans for games, what level of hell is this? Chris says, Jeff sounds a lot like Phil Spencer with that take. Well played. Chris,
hey.
Stay tuned to Meta Business Podcast, because that topic did come up, Phil Spencer's take. So we won't discuss it here, but on Meta Business Podcast, you will hear a discussion there. Let me give you, Goyo, what level of hell this goes to. So they don't call it loans, and they don't call it, right? Like we're using words that these guilds, Avocado, don't use. What they do is they run what they call scholarship programs. And someone who works for Avocado lends in-game assets to what the players, they call them scholars.
Oh my God.
The rewards are split between the company manager, like account manager essentially, and the scholar. And so they say how their scholarship program includes over 7,000 scholars.
No, this is good, because when I look at the student loan industry, I think, why don't we do this everywhere?
We need that in the metaverse.
That's the one lesson I take away from the student loans.
So hot take. I mean, when are we going to see some kind of regulation where it's going to restrict the kind of words that they can use, and whether, like Jeff said, whether this is indentured servitude or to what degree people can buy in and kind of sign away, their rights to this digital job? I don't know. I think that's the next thing I want to see.
I guess it depends on if the MLM lobbyists pick up this as a cause, because MLMs have been allowed to continue, and the direct selling lobby is huge. So if blockchain gaming wanted to hop right on that train, I don't think that the regulations would hurt them too much.
And there's big dollars right behind this now, right? Big funds that have backed this. There's lots of money. 6-month-old company that's going to do 80 million in revenue this year and has a $200 million valuation. Like, lending is a good business, clearly. Goyo says scholarship programs, scholars. Yeah, I'd like out now. I'm fascinated by this, right? In the same way I'm fascinated by, what happened in the small business lending industry, right? Where small businesses that needed loans were taking out loans at, 20, 30% kind of rates. And the companies got away with it, right? For the most part. And so it'll be fascinating to see how they spin this long term. The marketing words that they use, like Lindsay said, who gets involved from a lobbying standpoint, but they, whatever they're doing seems to be working. Can't argue with the numbers.
I want to back up a little bit though, because to me, obviously this thing is problematic for sure. And when you can call it indentured servitude and have people in the room say, maybe not too far, not sure if it's too far, like that's not a good sign. But to me, like the interesting thing here is that people have to pay $300 to get in the first place. And during Jeff's rant, like I think that's the point. I mean, this company aside,
no, you don't have to pay this company $300.
No, I know, but
if you want to play the game,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
they're lending you $300 worth of assets to start.
Buy your
Axie. Scholars are, but in order, if you wanted to play Axie,
free money, it's free money.
Yeah, that's how
it just creates a big barrier to entry, and it almost creates this negative cycle where the more successful your game is, the harder it is for people to enter. Which, like, I do wonder if that's not a sustainable, like a big flaw in the business model of pay to earn, where like if your game gets really, really successful, is it going to get to a point where if you want to play like the most successful blockchain pay to earn game, you need to put in $50,000 before you could start playing? Like how does that, how does that work? Like at some point, what are we all just going to be joining these like crazy decentralized, like whatever they call it, scholarships programs in order to get into a game? I don't think that is sustainable.
This is the thing that I want to get your takes on, because that's the more interesting piece of the puzzle, is like just getting into the game, like this company aside, just getting into the game seems complicated.
Yeah, you need to join
I have a totally different view. Why are we not doing a Business of Esports scholarship program? It's, I feel
Business of Esports Bank.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring this up quickly because Chris accused me of it, and I had this story teed up. This is from notebookcheck.net. The Golden Joystick 2021 Awards, best gaming hardware of all time. Guess who won? So this was voted by like the people, right? So this is readers of this particular publication. For the best gaming hardware of all time, Golden Joystick included nominees like PS1, 2, 4, Nintendo SNES, Nintendo 64, Wii, PC, Atari, like a whole list. As it turns out, PC won this category with 17% of the votes, followed by PS2 with 14%, SNES with 9%, and so on. Gabe Newell accepted the award on behalf of all PC gamers. So there you go. It's
not a fair fight.
It's confirmed.
There you go. You can update every little thing whenever you want and spend as much money as you want to do it. This is why you dislike Mercedes F1, but it's the same reasoning here why PCs are better than consoles, because you can put more money into them and make them better.
I think the console market makes sense, but the same way I think mobile does as a gateway drug. But
yeah, and I think Mercedes racing makes sense. Here we are.